UiPath has got two design experiences. One is the classic and the other is the modern design experience. As an RPA developer, we should know both the experiences, how to use what. In this playlist, we are covering the classic versus the modern design in a step-by-step manner where we are focusing more on the modern design. In the previous videos of the playlist, we have covered already all of these topics. In case you are absolutely new to modern design and you want to get started, you can refer to the playlist and get started. Today, in this video, we are going to discuss how we can customize the targeting methods which are used in the unified targeting method. So the people who are following this playlist, I hope now you guys are aware of what exactly is a unified target method, because we have already discussed that in detail in one of the previous video. Now in this video, we are going to discuss in case I as a developer has a requirement to change the targeting methods which UiPath modern design is using in unified targeting method. How can I do that, right? So that is what is the agenda for today's video. Before getting started, let's have a quick recap on the unified targeting methods. We already have discussed in a detailed video. You would find this video link in the description. But before I jump to the topic, I wanted to have a quick recap of the unified targeting method. So whenever I talk about unified targeting method, it is a solution, or I would say it is a method provided by the UiPath modern design experiences, which simply means that whenever I try to interact with any UI element on the screen, at the same time the modern design generates the selector, fuzzy selector, image automation, also use the computer vision, right? So all of this works together, and this combination of selector, fuzzy selector and images is called a unified targeting method. If you compare this to the classic selector, if I have to use selectors, I have to use a different activity. If I have to use image, I have to use an image activity, right? So that is what different this modern design does, and we have already discussed this in the previous video, right? So unified targeting method simply consists of one target along with optional anchors. So whenever we try to indicate any element on the screen, UiPath would use selector, fuzzy selector, image to find this element, and if it is not able to find, it will also utilize something which is called anchors, right? So all these targeting methods include strict selector, fuzzy selector and the images, right? Now what is the key advantage of using this? The key advantage, as you can understand, is the ease of use and how versatile it is. It provides a ready to use solution to seamlessly integrate workflows without doing the complex settings, complex configuration, right? So to identify any UI element, all these methods work together, and whichsoever is able to find the element first is written, right? So that was a quick recap on the unified targeting method. Now let's see what exactly I mean by that, right? So I'll quickly go here and I'll open a notepad, and let's define a use case, right? So let's say Notepad is a desktop application which we have to automate, right? So I'll go to my project, which is the modern design, and now you can see here I am in the modern design experiences. I'll go here and I'll create a new sequence, and I'll say customize the unified targeting method, and I'll say create. Okay, so now first thing first, we have to automate this notepad. So I will go to the activities and I will use something which is called use application / browser. Okay, use application / browser. I'll click on this button which says indicate application to automate, and I will simply point it to our notepad, that is the application which we want to automate, right? Now here, let's say I simply want to click on the file button. So I'll drag and drop a click activity, and I'll say indicate on the application which is the notepad. Now when I take my mouse and I click on the file button, right? So this is what is getting created, right? So you can see here the unified targeting method is creating a combination of the selector, fuzzy selector, computer vision, image, right? So all of these are by default created by UiPath to identify this file button on the screen, right? So all of this we have already discussed, so not spending much time here, right? But let's say you have a requirement, okay, where your company does not want you to do the image and the computer vision, okay? So your automation requires you to do the automation only with the strict selector and fuzzy selector, and they don't want to use the computer vision or the image because of any reason, right? Or maybe it can be something that you only want to do with strict selector or image and you don't want fuzzy and the computer vision, right? Now one option as a developer is, every time you come to this selection screen window, whichever you don't require, you just uncheck, right? I don't require computer vision, I don't require image, I just say confirm, and this click file now is not working on those two technologies. It is only working on the selectors and the strict selectors, right? Now what happens if I go here and I again take one more click activity, and now again if I go and if I try to point it out to the next button, which is format, right? Now if you see, when I click to the format button again, the selection screen window has again taken all the four computer vision, image into consideration, right? So again, as a developer, you have to go here, you have to remove the image, you have to remove the computer vision, and then you have to click confirm, right? So that means by default, whenever you use the modern design experiences, all of these are available for you, right? And as a developer, you have to uncheck them. But think of a large enterprise automation where this has to be done by each and every time, right? Whenever you do your automation, you have to change it, right? It becomes quite cumbersome, right? Do you have a solution? The answer to that question is yes, you have a solution where you can customize these settings, right? Now let me show you what exactly I mean by that, right? So you simply have to go to this one, which is the project, whichever you are working. In the project, you have this button, which is the settings button, right? Which you can see here, which says project settings. Click on that button, okay, and you would be navigated to something which is called the project settings window. In the project settings, you have something which is called the UI automation modern, because we are using the modern design. So I'll go here and I'll click on this one, which is the UI automation modern. Okay, now if I collapse everything, you would see here that I have different sections which are available here. Generic targeting methods, browser, Java, SAP, verify execution, and all these options are available, right? I am trying to do an automation which is a notepad, which is a desktop application. So I'll go here and I'll open this guy, which is the desktop application. Once I open this, you would see here there are some settings which are by default given to me, right? So in the desktop applications, strict selector, fuzzy selector, image, computer vision, all of this by default is set to true by UiPath for me, right? And it says that applies to indicated targets and anchors. Setting change take effect at the design time, right? Only when indicating the targets and the anchors, right? So whatever you have done previously, UiPath is not going to change that. It is only going to affect at the design time, right? So what was my requirement? I do not want to use the computer vision, I do not want to use the image, right? So I make the strict to true, fuzzy to true, and both of them I made to false, and then I say okay, and that's it, right? Now if I go here and if I take a click activity, okay, and now let me try to point it to any one of the button, let's say the help, okay, which is a desktop based application. Now if you see here, I am having an option to use the strict selector, I am having this fuzzy selector. The computer vision and image are by default disabled by the targeting method, right? In case I feel that yes, I require this, all you have to do is just go here and click on this one, and that will automatically generate the computer vision for you. If you want image, let's say for any particular one, you can always click on that and that will generate the image for you, right? So you might have seen that by default what has happened, UiPath has automatically disabled this for you, and all you have to do is just go here and click on this button which says confirm, right? So that is how you can actually customize the unified targeting methods. Now If you go back to the project and you click on this button, which is a setting, you might have noticed that this is not only restricted to the desktop application, right? You can definitely customize it to the desktop application. You can also change the input methods, right? So let's say you are using an application and you always want to do it with the help of simulate, or you always want to do it with the help of window messages. You can just come here and customize these settings directly here. Now, in case you don't understand what are this input mode, please use this video as a reference so that you understand when to use which one. Okay. Similarly, if I go here, you can see that we have something which is for the web browsers. We have for the targeting methods for the Java applications, SAP. Not only those, in the previous video, we have discussed something about the verify execution, right? That there are some activities which are available for you to verify the execution, right? So for those activity, we have some values which are available at the runtime and the debug time as well. All those value can be customized here as well, right? So the relevant settings are available for you, which you can customize, and that would help you whenever you use that activity, right? You have the other activities such as check app state, extract data table, highlight, hover, inject JavaScript, right? So all of these settings are available for you, right? Just a quick suggestion, see this one, which is the run value and the debug value. This simply means that run value and this value is available in settings, which means that when you are running the check app state activity, the timeout is 5 seconds during the runtime, and during the debug time it is 5 seconds, right? You have an option to customize it for the run value when you go here and run the automation, or when you are debugging, you can customize both of them directly by here, right? Delay between the pages, as the name suggests. I am extracting something and I want to put a delay. By default it is put to 1.5 seconds, right? You can always has an option to customize this, right? So all of these settings is available. I'll just immediately show you. You just go to the project, you go to this one, UI modern, click on that, and you can customize these settings here, right? So for example, if you are somebody who is still using the classic, this setting was always available for classic, which was here, UI automation classic, right? And you can customize this value for the UI automation classic fry here, right? So since it is classic, it has a lot more options, lot more activities and settings, right? So these settings were available for always for the classic in the same window in the UI automation classic, right? You can update the settings for computer vision, Excel modern, OCR. Even for the system activities, you can change these settings for your activities, right? So this was about how you can change the targeting method in the unified targeting method while identifying the elements on the screen, right? Okay, so let's have a quick recap. So to customize the targeting methods in the unified targeting methods, you just have to go to the project settings within the section of UI automation modern. From here you can customize the settings. I have put the screenshot for your reference. You have different section within the project settings that can cater to specific target elements, allowing for easy configuration, right? And you can always add or remove the targeting methods at the runtime as well, right? So I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions, any more doubts, feel free to write me in the comments, or you can also drop me an email as well, right? With that, I would like to wrap this video here. Thank you for watching, and in case you are new, please do subscribe to the channel so that you get the next videos in this series. Thank you for watching, and happy automation. Okay, so that is all for this video. I would like to wrap this video here. I hope this was insightful. If you have any more questions, any more doubts, feel free to write me in the comments, or you can also drop me an email as well. I would appreciate your feedback on the video, and tell me in the comments what would be the next topic or next video you want to see. So with that, I would wrap this video here. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please do subscribe to the channel, and happy automation.